Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the one tile challenge, now in plus mode. All right, I've had a number of hours to think about how we left off the last one, where I somewhat surprised myself by clearing out the loan. I hadn't actually anticipated doing that in the last episode. So I've been kind of on the fence as to what to do next. I know I talked a number of times about doing a one tile challenge plus, one tile plus. We're just going to shorten it to. And there were some moments there where I thought, you know what, screw it. Let's just dump the whole thing and wait for another map to come out, and we'll just save myself some time, because I did make quite a bit of point in the last episode to talk about how little how tight time is right now. But honestly, I think we can still have some fun here before we switch to a kind of survival series, which I keep teasing, but I haven't seen the map yet. So the parameters around one tile plus are as follows, I guess. So I've immediately forced myself to take an additional $425,000 loan, at which point I purchased some land. So we now own the original 18 acres or whatever this was. What was this? 17 and a half acres. We've purchased this almost 20 acres. And then we purchased 18, almost 19 acres there. I think it's roughly about 45 acres that we added. So if you think about it, we had 17, almost 18 acres here. We've like 2.5 times the size now, I guess, of what we've got available. So we've got a lot more land to work. So that is the first change there. So basically what I did is I upped my loan, or I took a loan and then I used that money to pay for the land. So it sort of zeroed out the money. The next kind of fundamental change that we're going to see for this series as it goes on is we're going to eliminate all the productions. So I'm no longer going to be a slave to the palette. I'm no longer going to be, cashing in on what may or may not be, unrealistic productions, always to be debated. So we're going to eliminate the flour mill. We're going to eliminate the oil mill, the dairy. We're going to get rid of all of the greenhouses. I'll probably keep the apple orchards, but we're just going to set the apples to sell. For now anyways. We're going to get rid of the juice factories. We're going to get, Granny, sorry Granny, but we're putting you out to pasture. She's gone. Granny's going to be gone here. And so productions will be gone. We'll be cash crop only. We can store grain or whatever until it's such time that it's a good value. But that's what we're going to do there. Now productions, I will still create silage. So we'll still be doing silage bales. But the silage is going to primarily be there for feeding animals. I'll probably sell some of the bales too, but it'll mostly go towards feeding cows, because I am going to get rid of the bulk feed station that I have up there near the animals. We're going to get rid of the BGA. We're going to get rid of the sawmill. Basically, all the productions are going to be gone. That will leave us with a pretty healthy chunk of change, I think, by the time we go and sell all the buildings. And then also, actually, let's just jump in and start doing this now while we're chatting. So I have moved everything over here because with the money that we generate from selling the buildings, and I do have a number of items still kicking around that need to be sold. Some pallets. I have a trailer up at by the animals that's filled with planks, some beams, some wool. So all that's going to get sold. But with that money, we're going to completely rework the yard, and look at some additional equipment. So, I've got $130,000 right now, because I did set, as I was sort of making a bunch of changes, moving some stuff around, making the purchases for the land, and I've gone and basically set up Courseplay to assist me for mowing, because we're going to be doing a lot of mowing here. I set all of the productions to sell. Actually, are they on sale right now? They might be on sale right now. I should probably just stagnate them. All right, no big deal in the dairy because we don't have anything. Apple trees, I'm on the fence. We'll see. Actually, you know what? Screw it. All right, the apples are deactivated. The dairy has no inputs anyways. Flour mill's dead. Granny, sorry Granny, You've now been deactivated. Okay, rather than going in and deactivating all of these open air gardens right now, let's just sell them all. Actually, so I was going to do all this while we were while there was something else we're doing, but I might as well just do this right now rather than deactivating. It seems kind of silly to deactivate them only to then go around and sell them. So let's just do this. Okay, Granny, have a good life. Your nightmare is over. All right, so that's that. No other worries here. I had already got rid of the firewood production because that was really painful trying to sell all that stuff. We are going to come in here and remove other things too, but I'm not going to do that right yet because the goal right now is just to get some other whatever. Let's sell this. That really wasn't worth a lot. All right, so I think to get rid of this little cell station, I'm going to have to get rid of a bunch of stains. So we're going to worry about that after. Oh, maybe to get these too. I have so many stains on the ground that it's hard to select anything but that. Okay, so we'll these are deactivated anyway, so no worries there. All right, everything's deactivated there. Pasta. Okay, so I believe everything now has been deactivated. Yeah, no inputs there. No inputs. Oh yes, we do have inputs here, but this is all deactivated. Perfect, so we won't be generating any additional pallets. So we're going to go around right now and just grab whatever we, previously sort of earned or whatever. Did we earn anything really? So we're going to get everything sold. So with that money, I think what I was in the middle of saying was with the money that we generate from the sale of these pallets, the buildings, whatever is kicking around, we're going to use that to rebuild out our farm here and upgrade equipment. Because right now, our equipment is set for... Well, I guess you could argue that it wasn't even sufficient to farm 17 acres because we had we just had some challenges anyways. I think we eventually upgraded our windrow, didn't we? Where we were dealing with that tiny one for so long. Like we definitely did not make it easy on ourselves on the outset. But the reality is we weren't looking to make it easy. We were, just looking to try to get to a goal, right? So we hit our goal. Now it's time to change some things. So I'm just gonna pick this up, and then I'm just gonna look at a note that I made here. Okay, yeah. So all productions, everything that we grow now is gonna go to we're gonna sell. I'm gonna get rid of these sell points up here once we're done selling, and we're only going to use the sell points that are on the map, because we ended up having to put I think I had to put a firewood production or firewood sell point down because there was nowhere else to sell firewood. Well, I'm not making firewood now. So basically everything we grow, we should be able to sell on the map. If for some reason we've discovered we can't grow we can't sell something that we're growing on the map, well, we'll deal with that at the time. But I think for the most part, we shouldn't, there'll be no worries there. We should be able to deal with everything with what's available on the map. So we'll get rid of our sell points. So to, I guess, increase the challenge also, does it increase the challenge? I think, but I've added the realistic weather mod where we'll now be subject to crushing snowstorms and blinding fog. Blinding fog? Can it blind you? I guess so. I don't have I don't have drought turned on, and I don't have crop fires turned on, which I think sounds wild. I'd love to see one at some point. Maybe I'll have to test it together and see what a crop fire looks like. But so I don't have that turned on, but I do have the fog, the snow, and I believe the moisture levels or whatever on. Yeah, right there. Withering chance 0. I don't know whether that's because I have something turned off or not, but we do have the moisture turned on. So I don't really know much about that yet. So if you have any advice, please provide. I did set everything to 50%. So I believe the most yield or the most reduction in yield I can get from the moisture is 50%. I honestly don't know enough about it to know whether that's good or bad, or whether I'm going too easy on myself or whatever. But for now, that's just where I got it set because I don't want to completely crush myself here. I also have the tire wear mod set, I've never used it. I'm a little concerned that it may crash my game at some point. I actually have 2 backup saves currently for this. So if something does go wrong, then hopefully we'll be able to save ourselves. But anyways, so that's what we're doing there. Let's go. I think we can just sell the apple juice here, can't we? Yeah. All right, that's good. Let's just get rid of this lettuce. So this is going to seem at first here like maybe we were going to have a whole bunch of money, and you know, how much of a challenge is it when you've got a whole bunch of money? But I can assure you that by the time we go and build the farm out, we're in the yard out or whatever, and upgrade some equipment, we're going to have no money, or very little money, I should say. So the intention is not to sort of walk into this next chapter with, you know, a couple $100,000 in the bank. The intention is to kind of start with not much other than just property, and you know, basically we're going to begin taking all the grass off. I mean, we started this challenge off with a pretty massive mowing. I mean, we mowed the 17 acres and basically baled it up. That's how we started, and then we made silage bales, and I think it worked well for us. So now, with the additional acreage that we've bought, I'm going to be going and mowing all that. Actually, we're driving past the trees here. So one of the things that I will allow for myself in this this next chapter is wood chips. Now, to me, a production is like I take my canola and I put it into an oil factory, and then here, let's get rid of this too while we're here. Yeah, I put my oil into an oil mill or whatever, and then, you know, out pops pallets of nicely bottled oil, and then and then I go and sell it for 3 or 4 times what I would have got. I don't see wood chips the same. It's not really a factory. I mean, I'm basically taking the wood and I'm changing it into, I'm chipping it, but it's not, I don't know, to me it just doesn't feel the same as like an oil mill, or for example, old granny there dropping off wool and then she hands me, a bunch of sweaters. That feels very much like I'm, transforming the whatever it is. Let's go this way. There's a bunch of invisible things I think I was running into up there. I'm gonna go this way. Until we get a chance to figure out what those are, because I don't want to, there's no straps on this, so I don't want to hit something and then just have all this stuff go flying. It took me forever to get it all loaded. But yeah, so in regards to the trees, now the trees aren't going to be, they're going to be something that will likely, I mean, there's going to be those gaps, months where we don't have a lot of sort of farming-ish activities to do. Well, that'll be when we'll go and attack some of those trees. I know right there, easily, I could just cut those trees down and pay off our $425,000 loan. But, that's not exactly what we're going to do here right away. This will be a bunch of money here. $35,000, $40,000 basically. Okay, so down at the BGA, there's not much. The sawmill, not much. So let's... I want to free this tractor up so I can throw it onto the mower, which I have set up right there, so that way we can begin building out our existence here. But let's see. So we got rid of all the. I got to get rid of the. Okay, so let's go sell the past off, and then we can get rid of the BGA and the sawmill. So with digestate, I haven't sold the digestate yet. I was sort of trying to toy with the idea how I could keep the digestate, because I could use it for fertilizer rather than selling it. You know what? Maybe what I'll do is just kiss it goodbye, and we'll just, rather than give ourselves the benefit of it. All right, let's do this while we're here. $25,000. Yeah, screw it. Before I change my mind, let's just sell this. $26,000. All right, so we got a couple things down here. Oh. Okay, did I get rid of that? Hopefully I didn't get rid of the sell point. I don't think I got rid of the sell point. We'll know pretty quickly here. I think I can just push these, because it was like right around here. Yeah. We're going to need this. Well, the bale situation is going to be disgusting. Thank God for a universal auto load. Or whatever I'm using. What am I using? A bale? I'm using like a bale auto load, right? So now having added the realistic weather and realistic or whatever the tire wear mod, where my tires are going to begin to wear out, I've now kind of moved myself into the non-console PC only realm. So I went and added the extreme sales mod, which I think I've sort of like moaned and groaned about how much I missed it a few times. So that is now in play, and the used market is alive and well once again, as it should be. I added, I think I had Courseplay, or I had Courseplay or Auto Drive already activated, so I've activated the other one too, so we'll be using that. There's no way, I'm not farming, what did I add, 45 plus almost 60, call it like 60 odd acres. I'm not farming that without some assistance, so I should have filled this up before I sold the BGA. Okay, so we just got the stuff on the racks over here, and then that's it. So yes, I added the extreme use sales mod, added the weather, added the tires, so now I have auto drive and Courseplay. A question for you, and maybe we'll go down and look at the spot, but so we're gonna get into, so far I've just been growing the sort of grain, I guess, wheat. This is gonna make us some money. Wheat, oats. Have I just been growing wheat and oats? I think that's it, right? Just wheat and oats. Canola. I think I also grew some. Canola for the oil. So I'll likely get into corn. I really like the way corn looks. We could. I don't know anything about how to do it, but we could look at corn for silage, like for a forage type. Is that it? A forage harvester or whatever? I think those things look so cool. But I've never. Holy crap! We have $350,000, guys. Jeez. I hope. Okay, we'll buy some pretty dang nice buildings and some good equipment. I got to make sure we don't have a lot of money when we start to actually, playing. But anyways, yeah. We'll get into stuff like that. The one thing that I'm toying with, and I'm probably going to regret even asking this, but what do you guys think about putting in a vineyard? I'm not going to say I've never done it in the game, because I think on a now hidden mini series early on, I think it was the first thing I ever recorded, and I cannot remember the name of the map that I was on, but I started working with grapes on whatever. What the heck was this map? I can't remember. Anyways, and it was very painful. But I think that I can use I think the workers even have like an option for working in vineyards. Do they not? Can I not set a worker to run up and down the rows now? I swear I saw that somewhere. So I'll do a little bit of digging, but I think we have a great spot for that type activity, and I'll show you where that is. You can kind of see where the bus is way over there right now. We own that hill. So, to me, that just kind of looks like a great place for an orchard of some kind. I say an orchard, I'm thinking like a vineyard, right? That's what I should be saying. Don't suggest root crops, because I really don't want to do that. Unless you can point me in a direction that I don't have to, farm 1 or 2 rows at a time. Maybe there's I always see Crustu always goes and does, if you don't know Crustu, I'm sure you do, because we seem to share all the same subscribers, but he seems to always go towards root crops, and I always shy away from them. So maybe what I got to do is pay a little more attention to what somebody like that is doing, to see if maybe there's a humane way of doing that type of farming. Guys, we have $394,000 right now, but keep in mind, like a larger, more substantial harvester could be $350,000. So this money is not going to be, holy crap. This money is not going to be with us for long, trust me. Never mind that. Like, there's a one particular building that I think I'd like to put in, and I want to say it's like $180,000. It's a shed that I hope I have it. I don't know. I think I've got it in my mods. It's super cool. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at. So you know what? Let me get these sold, and then we'll probably regroup as I get the mower going. We'll get a chance to see exactly how much money we got here. So basically, right now, just so you know, I'm going to get everything sold that's on these racks. I believe. I mean, we have. So the animals are going to just keep doing animal things for now. Did I mention that we might be changing? Okay, so maybe that was one other thing I got to talk about. So I think we're going to sell off all the animals as we have them up in the animal corner there. That's been fantastic. I've been super surprised with how well that's worked. But I think it's time now that that we switch things up. So rather than a fenceless animal or whatever that is, what do they call it? Fenceless animal pasture or whatever. I'm going to require some type of building or facility if I'm going to put in animals. So what I have up there won't fly. So I think what we're going to end up doing is just clearing out. We'll probably just clear out that entire corner. I'll definitely triple save my game before I try to make any changes up there in case it just explodes. But yeah, I think we'll probably redo the animal stuff too. So I think maybe what I'll do is when we do regroup, I will perhaps have gone so far as to sell off all the animals. Grab whatever material they've produced up there, and then yeah, we'll regroup when it's time to mow and basically start building out this farm. All right, here we go. With $611,000 in the bank, we send off we send off the mower, and it begins. All right, so we're now tractor free, i.e., the tractor is busy. Everything is gone. So maybe we can do it this way. We'll do it through the build menu. So all of the productions are gone. All of the sell points are gone. Is it just me, or do you love the way the ground looks after you've worked it and used it and then deleted everything? I always love to look at it afterwards. You can see all the different material and the stains. You know, the weird grass and the lines. Like, we know what was there, but anybody that came afterwards would be looking at this thinking, what on earth happened here? So I think maybe what I'll do is quickly schmoove out some of this stuff, only to probably be reworked later, but that's okay. We'll just quickly run a smoothing brush through this. I got the right brush, yes. I don't want to hit the mowed grass because I think the mowed grass will vanish. But just trying to take a little bit of the harshness out of here. Inevitably, as we place down buildings and elect to use more or less of the property for our shops and whatever, then this is probably not going to have mattered that we did this. But just when we're driving around here, it kind of saves us from hitting any really weird bumps. So let's just do that. Perfect. I have a rough idea of what I want to do here, but oh look, I even sold our house. Yeah, I've got a rough idea, but I don't have I'm not 100% solid. I don't want to make a super modern looking farm. That's really not my style, but I don't want to make it too junky and it's not going to be small because we're going to have some stuff. So now, granted, I only have $600,000, so it's not like we're mega rich right now, but the amount of bales. So it's funny. So I said, yeah, silage bales, we're going to use them primarily for feed. But if I don't have any animals, I'm obviously going to be selling them. So it's quite likely that a good chunk of what we take off and create and ferment and is going to get sold. We do want to make some money so we can have some fun also. This is kind of like my chance to just sort of have some fun on the map before we take off and do something else. So there you go. You can see everything's gone here. Obviously, tons of stains are still there. And that's they exist. I can sell all those if I needed to, but if we can build over them, then we will. I got rid of the invisible pasta sell point that was there. If you come up here, oh god, look at this field. It's just chewed up. Over here, we got rid of the apple orchards, got rid of the animals, obviously. Sold off all of the stuff that they have. This area here is probably just breathing a sigh of relief now. It's got all that pressure off of it. Whatever kind of cyber pressure was involved. But yeah, if you kind of see like this. So these trees aren't going anywhere fast. This field here, we will likely So that, I mean, we're farming now, right? So this whole, like, basically this whole chunk of property here is ours to do what we want with. This section right here is the one that I thought might make sense if we wanted to put some kind of a small vineyard in, right? It just sort of has that look of a hill where you would put the vines going up and down there. So we'll sort of reserve judgment on that. I'm going to get all this mowed though, of course. We have basically kind of like everything. Yeah, basically this, right? Because this essentially, there's like a big rectangle here that's ours. It's just massive. That's what she said. And then if we kind of go over here, there's another large rectangle here. I want to say it even comes across this road and heads out. Like, we got a big piece of land. So anyways, we're going to be taking absolute crap ton of bales off. So a couple things that we're going to need to purchase for equipment right away. Obviously, this baler right here is probably going to be complete death for us if we try to do it with this. I think I can only do round bales with this, but perhaps this is a moment where we should be looking at changing to a square baler, and then maybe something that we can wrap square bales with. Because with a square baler, you can just continuously drive. You don't have to stop every single time. And every single time that a bale is ready, which is really, really rough. Plus, they're very easy to deal with, super easy to stack, like just enjoyable to use. What's the width on this? 8.4 meters. Yeah, so that's not too bad. We could potentially, we're going to use a worker for a lot of stuff here. So we could potentially get a worker on the windrows. And then really we just have to set the baling worker at an 8.4 meter working width, and they should be able to just go through and bale everything, which would be great. Seeders and planters are going to have to get upgraded. I guess we already have the square baler, really. If we use this, we just need a bale wrapper. Forgot about that thing. Probably don't need this water tank anymore. Or tank, I guess I should say. So, yeah, so anyways, I think the next step is to probably make sure that I've got things saved here, and then we're going to start to figure out what we want to do for our yard. All right, I've now saved, triple saved, quadruple saved. I actually came in here a couple times, realized I was missing some mods that I may want to test fit, then went back and added them. So about an hour later, after I said, let's get to the build, we're about to get to the build. That's how it goes, right? Okay, so let's just see if I can get rid of a couple things just in case. I guess it doesn't really matter whether there's a plant there or whether there's grass there. It's kind of treated the same way. But yeah, so I have my eyes on a shed. I just don't recall what the price is, and I think I have it in here now. So basically, my three goals right now would be shed. I want to add back in the bulk field work station from Gaming Joy, and we need some kind of residence. We're going to need a silo also, so I could potentially look at putting that in right now. But okay, so I think this shed's somewhere down here. Good gosh, that's bright. Do we want to live in a shed? I think in real life I would. It's funny when it says land not owned by you. There must be a bunch of stuff going on invisible on the backside of this. We just don't know. But anyways, yeah. So should we potentially look at something like this, where we have 3 large bays, the living area on the end, we've got the bay on the back, or the door on the back. This is basically just a large shop, but I think we would need a separate. We would need another shed of some kind if we were going to live in this. I don't have no problem with that. So let's just look quickly here and see if I can change the color. Yeah, like I could work with something like that. I'm not putting solar panels on. We're not going to really benefit from that. If we kind of placed it, so my thinking is that everything on this side will sort of remain the same. Maybe even square this off and make this one field. I don't know yet. But and then expand the yard out here. So if this was going to be our residence and we sort of placed it like here, everything to the left right now could end up becoming yard. down where we have the stack of wood right now, and all of our implements, we could potentially fit a silo down in there. But I mean, we've got a nice area here. Yeah, I could live with that. So what do we think of the color? But anyways, okay, so let's look quickly. So that's $120,000, but that takes care of not only some storage, but also a house. We would need another shop though, because there's no way we're going to fit everything into that. I do have a shop in mind, but it's $160,000, I think. Let me just look, because I think there was one more shed house. So we also have this version. Maybe this is a little bit better. So this one also has a house, which I think I can, wait, if I go like this, I should be able to look inside it, I think. No, I can't get low enough to look inside the house, but I believe there's living quarters on this end. Garage to store your vehicles and tools. A house for your farm. Living shed. I mean, that sure reads like it's got a place to live. I don't know why I'm looking at pale yellow for everything, but I just kind of like the way it looks. But yeah, maybe this is about half the price of the other one. Sort of. It's got just as usable space, if not more. It has a workshop. We can even store some stuff inside here. I can't unfortunately see any lower whether or not there truly is a sleep trigger. If I kind of place this on the end here, then we want access to that back door. So if I kind of have it more over here, knowing that this is going to become more yard over here. Yeah, I think that's workable. And then we can have another shed sort of up here or over here, and then some kind of silo down here. We want to keep things relatively simple, but we do want to make sure that it's super functional. So if I let it do the landscaping. All right, so there's $80,600. Let's go see what's going on here. Yeah, we are going to have a little bit of work to do around here, but that's fine. It's good. You can open these from the outside. That's always nice. Sometimes you can only open these things from the inside. So we know we can store some pallets. I think it said 16 pallets you can put in here. Is this access to the house or is this outside still? Oh. All right, here's our house. So we got a little computer. Perfect. Oh, definitely a lot of storage for files. Little living space, that's good. Somewhere around here there's a sleep trigger, I'm sure. Awesome, no nonsense bedroom. Yep, sleep trigger in there. Guessing you can get dressed in here. Oh, probably don't need that anymore since we're in March. You know what, let's just go with the good old Farming Simulator sweatshirt, and probably a bathroom. Okay, well, that works for me. I like that. Oh, our buddy's done over here. Okay, so you know what? Let's get them started on another small section before we start the huge section. Whatever, who cares? You know what? I'm not the one doing it. Let's just get the worker and go in here. But away they go. Jeez, I feel bad for this poor bugger. But I'm just not ready to commit to any additional equipment yet until I start getting the farm itself built. So sorry, buddy, but yeah, you're gonna be busy. 1 hour and 51 minutes. Okay, well, I might regret that, but let's go back to work. Okay, so we may call this a bit of a build montage as well, actually, no. We got to buy a tractor. Just going to do a quick scan through the used here. Do I want a John Deere? Oh, actually, but wait. Up to 120 horse. So I'm looking at building a bigger farm here, and then I immediately gravitate to a tractor that's got 120 horsepower. I think I can change the color of this one, but let's go quickly check something else. All right, I think we might be going with something like this. I've wanted an opportunity to use these in any type of series. I don't think I've got one going yet, unless maybe over on New Frontier. I don't have anything for sale right now, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll just maybe spend $87,000. Jeez. So let me think, 230 horsepower. Like nothing beats the 300 horsepower of our starting tractor there, which is crazy. But 230 horsepower should be good for a lot of what we need to do. I mean, we've got that little 300 horsepower beast if we needed it. And then this thing can do a lot. It doesn't have loader arms, which is fine, but we do have front and rear PTO. So if I did perhaps purchase, it might be a little bit late now, but if I purchased a bigger mower, then this would be a good time for that. But anyways, we won't tell our friend out there in the field that was a consideration. But yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and with shaky hands purchase this. Ooh. I don't remember purchasing this trailer, but it must have been a good deal. What the hell? Okay. It must have popped up at some point, and I thought, well, that's a great deal. I'll just purchase it and then let you guys know. But all right. It's funny. This trailer shows up in my life often. I have this trailer right now on a server that I'm playing with my son. It's relatively inexpensive. It seems to always be for sale, and oh my god, this guy's like cruising. He's done a full lap already. Anyways, yeah, this trailer seems to always come up for sale, and it's got great capacity. So I guess it must have come up for sale. I don't remember purchasing it to be honest with you. But anyways, it's ours now. So let's go park this thing, and then we'll go get the grass put into rows here so we can pick it up. We are gonna have to get a baler. So let's see what the reality is of this. Nope, don't go in the shed yet because we do need to do a little bit of terraforming around there. But I don't want to do that until we pick that grass up because I don't know how far over into that field we're going to be working. So let's just dump this back here. Okay, the only thing that I don't like about these Fendts, and now I remember, is they're very slow. I want to say it's like a slow transmission maybe, but they're very slow to pick up speed. They seem quite sluggish, I think is what maybe the best way to explain it. And I guess I'm also used to that, whatever the international or whatever it is we've started with here. You literally, there's no engine braking on it at all. Because you when you lift off or when you jump out, the thing will just keep rolling. All right, so we're going to put this guy on a worker also, but this one's going to be, we'll probably do, I think the trick with a windrow is you want to go up and down first, and then back and forth, right? Do the up and downs first. So we don't probably need course play. I think I can probably just do this with a worker. Let's see if they recognize the field. Okay, even though it is it's not a field, that's why. Okay, look after my new tractor there, buddy. So I've got them doing they should be doing the up and downs first. Oh, they just dropped that right away, don't they? So they should be doing the up and downs first, and then coming through with sort of a cleaning headland. I used to make the mistake of putting them on the headlands first, and then they would go and do the up and downs and completely destroy all the rows they had already made. So let's see how that works. And then we'll be able to expand this, potentially even sink this into the ground a little bit. Although I think if I sink this into the ground, I'm going to lose all my interior flooring, so we don't want to do that. So anyways, okay, well, that's good. So the next step, I think, we probably want to look for a bale wrapper for the square bales. All right, so as far as options there, I'd love to get into the sausage making, where we use these long, you put the sort of stationary, but I think our best bet is probably going to be this K-brand one right here. The Go Wheel is same price, but we can only wrap up to 180 centimeters. Where this one here, we can wrap up to 220. I guess, what do we want to start with for, should we keep going with red? Nope. Never mind. All right, we'll just do our initial wrap. We'll just do white bales here. Depending on the vehicle, I need to change my plate all the time so it reads properly. I just saw Daggerwind have that kind of issue. Okay, so let's buy that. Ugh. Well, the good news is it's not like I don't have everything I need in order to function, right? We now have a shed. We have a place to sleep. We have a harvester. We've got a seeder. I've got a way to mow. Like, we have everything we need short of upgrading and making things larger. So that's not so bad. I can't do much now until Buddy is done there. So let's get to the point where this guy's where we're sort of done this section, and then we'll be able to build out the yard here. All right, just getting the last of the bales baled here, I guess, and then we'll be going to grab that wrapper. Pretty smooth job here so far. No major drama. I didn't actually reset the bale counter, so I don't really know exactly how many bales this is, but I probably should have counted, because it would be nice to know. No, it says 58 total. Yeah, so I'm just it's a running total, so we could count them, because I definitely want to reset it before we hit the next field. I'll be curious to see how many bales we pull off of that field. That's going to be disgusting, to be honest, but there's a little bit of work to do there still. Obviously, we got to get, I guess once I get these wrapped, we can kind of push them out of the way maybe, and then I can always put the tractor on the windrow and start it on the big field over there. If I just get him on the up and downs, he can worry about the headland later, but I don't know how quick it'll catch. It'll probably catch up to the mower too fast, actually, but anyways, yeah, it'd just be nice to kind of figure out how many bales we're going to get off of that. It's going to be pretty crazy. All right, so that's that. I did manage to grab a straw bale. There was about 2,500 liters of straw in the baler when I started, so yeah, I spit that bale out. Okay, let's drop this here. Actually, with the bale wrapper, I can actually drop the bales off the field, or at least out of the way of where I think we're going to be building, which is good. All right, so let's head up to the store and grab what we need. So my plan too, I mean, we have a road right now up to the store, but we now own basically the land between, actually, if you look on the mini map, yeah, like we essentially own this section here now. So rather than just this sort of weakly painted, winding road, I think I can use the road builder or whatever, the road maker or whatever it's called, to put in more of a proper road up there, which would be kind of cool. Yeah, definitely don't like the transmission in this tractor. I think I've either forgot about that or something, but I don't know. We'll see. I can definitely, like, if it's on a worker, it's obviously not going to bother me because I'm not the one dealing with it. But when it's on me, it's kind of annoying. I had a bit of a moment when I realized that I forgot to check the bale size that we were making, but we're good. They're 220 centimeters. Okay, last bale, and then maybe we'll give them a quick count before I think I can pretty much send the windrow out. Anyways, I think we're going to try. No, because I want to send the windrow and a baler out at the same time. If I could send a windrow, a baler... No, I guess sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I guess what I'll do is I'll send the windrow out, and then I can just save the route or whatever, and then I can send the baler and this bale wrapper out on workers. I think that should work, and then I can just go auto load, pick everything up afterwards. That's going to be a lot of bales, man, because this wait, I should have counted. Let's just see this one little patch here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, about 21 bales, I think. Did I just count there? Maybe got it wrong, but let's call that 21 bales. So we have basically the entire grass section that Buddy is cutting right now, which goes all the way around down over those trees. Then we have this section right next to us over here before we get over to where the potential vineyard could go. Okay, well, let's go build out our yard here, and then because I think we're going quite long here too. This may be the transition episode is going to be the long one, perhaps. Okay, so first of all, I think I need to level out some ground here. I think what we're going to do is let's make this a bit of a small building time lapse, I think.
Oh, I've been long gone, wanna talk to you. I've been hustling for so long. Oh, and I've been thinking about the past, and it keeps me going on. Oh, and I can't stop, no, I don't stop. It's only I can see. Even if I end up all alone, I know my destiny. My mama told me we all bleed the same sun. Oh, prejudice and pride will make you change. Just always remember where you come from, 'cause I know you waiting for me. Tell me, 'cause I gotta know. See, and I can't stop, no, I don't stop. It's only I can see. If I die trying to turn the tide, y'all remember me. See, Mama told me we all bleed the same sun. Oh, prejudice and pride will make you change. Just always remember where you come from, 'cause I know you were born to make a change. So I'm on my way. Yes, I'm leaving today.
All right, there is a good start, I think. So that is a massive machine shed right there, or I don't know what you would call that thing, but that's got a lot of storage space right there. That would easily house everything that we have right now. Then we have this. A little office space in here. Actually, there's even vending machines. So if you guys are over, you can always grab something out of there. Stop raiding my fridge. I don't know whether or not this is a shop. Blocked by an object. Let's go see what that is. Oh, this guy's blocked by an object here. Okay, so let's free this person. I'm gonna go get some fuel and then we'll just get them started again here back to the... I bet you right now the guy's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do that anymore. Well, you know what? You're gonna be right back at it, buddy. I'm gonna get some fuel and get you back on the road. So in hindsight, I probably should have grabbed a bigger mower, but you know what? We're down. We had like $600 some odd thousand. We're down to $112,000 right now. We kind of have what we need in order to get the bales processed, so that's a good thing. It's the first day of March here. We're gonna be plowing some fields and getting some seeds in the ground. How much of that? I think we should be okay. Like we shouldn't have an issue with $112,000. We should have enough to get that going. We have our own fields, the previous fields to deal with also. Once those are harvested, mowed, whatever, then we'll see about expanding those. So I think we're in decent shape. I'd like to continue getting the yard built out. That was just kind of an initial, get some gravel down, put the buildings in. I hope you like the sort of initial stages of it. If you don't, well, too bad. But see, from up here, that farm's going to look kick-ass. We're going to get a silo complex. By silo complex, so what I don't want to do with a multi-fruit silo, what I don't want to do is have like more than one crop in a silo, I don't think. I know that's a thing, but I think what I'd like to do is get, have separate silos for different crops. Looks like we're going to miss a strip, but you know what? That's okay. Wow. Okay. Well, let's get the windrow going. Oh, wait, no. I said I didn't want to do that. Oh, crap. I need another tractor. I need a tractor to pull the baler behind the windrow. No, I don't need that. I'm going to try to run the baler and the bale wrapper together. Okay, well, let's see how that goes. I can't see how we'd have any issues, right? Although, we're starting in the middle. So let's just take a look at one more thing here while we're chatting. The question in the future will be, is a corn crib a production? Yes, it's changing the state of the corn from corn to dried corn, that's also to me somewhat along the same lines as changing a grass to silage. I'd be open to things like this, or I believe I have like a grain dryer or something as well. So I don't see that necessarily as a production per se, because we're putting in sort of loose material, taking loose material out. We're not creating pallets or a separate product completely. So something we can consider. I'd really love to get into stuff like this, but then I want to automate as much as possible. So I think, unfortunately, what that means, we may be into something similar to kind of like what we have on New Frontier. But it's crazy because at like $36,000, we only hold 54,000 liters. Then you got to go and add I think at the same price, then you can add the extensions on. Yeah, we may end up setting up some of these silos. Now, I don't have to worry about it yet. Obviously, the silo is going to be an investment that'll include silo and auger. maybe potentially an auger to put the crops in and out. We could still automate it depending on which auger we're using. You can we can sort of set a standardized route up, and then with auto drive. So anyways, I think we should be able to figure that out. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is we're going to leave that here. So we've now done a ton of stuff, right? You've seen sort of where the next chapter is going. You've figured out what kind of madness we're taking on right here. My thinking is that I'm going to let the windrow and the mower go. So we're going to basically finish mowing up all of this area here. I'm using a silo as a pointer, right? So once this little guy's done here, they're going to need to mow this section and this hill because all of that is ours. Buddy over here is going to be hitting all that with the windrow. I feel bad for him, but you know what's better him than me. So they're going to go and put it all in rows. Then I really got to go through and bale it up. So my hope is that by the time we meet next, I'll have all of this grass mowed, I'll have all of it baled, and I'll have all of it wrapped. It'll all be sitting kind of in an area somewhere around here or whatever. Maybe I'll clean it up a bit with the autoload trailer so I can get it all into a decent spot in rows, stacked somewhere nice and neat. And then I doubt I'll have gone. I don't think I can afford to go in and put any other work in here yet. Not until we can start to make a couple bucks. I think you let me know. What do you think? What would you do now? My guess is, we've got opportunity for sort of one massive field here, which might be too crazy. Maybe what we do is break this up into kind of one field here. We could have an access road through here, and then this in itself would be a substantial field. I'm okay with big fields right now. Once this stuff is done, does this become just a big field? So we end up with, 1, 2, 3 massive fields. And then are we dumb enough to do some kind of a vineyard? I don't know. I'm going to try to get this edited and uploaded before I go and do any more work short of getting all this stuff baled and wrapped, like I said. So before we go putting fields in or whatever. So hopefully that'll be the next episode. So, all right, guys, this is now one tile plus. We're going to drop the challenge because really it's just, we're sort of standalone now. This is one tile plus. Let me know what you think. How long we're going to be on this really determines how much fun it's going to be, because the second it's not any fun anymore, or I've got the next series set up, we may just dump it. Who knows? But anyways, let me know what you think. All right, guys, take it easy. See ya. Bye.
The street.